they're not going to, okay? They don't feel as obligated to reply to you if you don't end it in a question. So everything I just sent you over Messenger ends with a question. If they reply to you, even if they just say no, that's awesome. Because then you can say, hey, well, I would love to add you to our group Wellness Warriors and tag you in some information about what products I think would help you and some testimonials. And really, honestly, even if they don't reply to that, you can still add them to Wellness Warriors, tag them in some things. And if they don't reply, give them some space, maybe even a week. Okay, you don't want to be too overbearing, but then get back with them. And like Kara and Amy have told me this 1,000 times, 14 to follow up, and I'm proof of that because Kara probably messaged me like 7 times before I ordered Triplex. Literally, you can ask her. And so you've got to follow up with these people, even if they're not replying to you, even if they're giving you these really vague answers. She's showing her face now. She's like, yep. You've got to follow up. And then sometimes it's awkward if, so like I know Melissa has messaged somebody that I kind of like nudged her to, and she said they didn't reply. If you think you're going to see these people in public and you've done a cold message to them and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to see them and it's going to be really awkward, message them back and say, hey, I just wanted to touch base again. I know I never heard back from you about Plexus, but whenever you're ready to talk about the products, I'm here. I hope you have a great week. Just end it like that, so that way they know if they see you in public, you're not going to just bombard them about Plexus. One great thing to do with cold messages is voice messages, because if they can hear your voice and they can hear your excitement about the products, it doesn't seem as salesy. So voice messages can be scary for people. So what I have figured out, and just recently, and you may already know this, but if you're on Facebook Messenger, you hit the plus button and you've got the voice option, right? So y'all all know how to do voice messages. You have to hold your button down on the record. But I didn't know that you could cancel what you were saying. So this is huge. Amy's like, what? So, okay, I'm holding down the button and I'm talking, and then I say something really stupid, and I'm like, oh crap. Well, instead of lifting it up, you can just slide your finger and it cancels the message.
Wait, mine does not look like that.
You need to update your app.
Oops.
Probably. Right? I mean.
Yeah, well, okay, so if I ask someone, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I just have the net on the bottom.
Yeah. Press that button. The plus button. Press the plus button.
Oh, the press. Well.
And there's voice option. Should be.
Mine says video, quick photo. I guess I just need to update it because, yeah, mine doesn't have a voice option. What color is it? Yeah, no, I don't have that.
So you can cancel your voice message, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
And you could do a voice message, send it to your husband, your boyfriend, your mom. Because sometimes you still want to hear what it says, even though you're like, okay, I think this sounds okay. You can send it to that person, and then you can actually forward that message to who you really wanted to send it to. So pretend like you're doing a voice message to one of your business builders, one of your dream teamers that you put on your list of 64, okay? But you send it to your husband. You listen to it, you like the way it sounds, and you can forward it to that person you really wanted to send it to. So you've got options with voice messages. Yes.
Amy, I think if you were to hold down the microphone, because mine doesn't have whatever Laura Lee's saying. If you hold down the microphone, there should be an X on your screen that comes up. And you can hit that X, but don't let go of the microphone.
Right, because then it says that.
Because then it'll send. Yeah. So there's a way.
Well, because I would do voice messages in the car, and my girls hate the car seat. And so I'm trying to, sell some Plexus, and my girls are crying in the background, and it's so awkward. And I've had to send voice messages with them crying in the background because I didn't know how to cancel it. And that's just so awkward. But you get so much business done doing voice messages in the car because you're not texting, So anyways, and I don't know if I would be where I am right now in Plexus if I did not do cold messaging and what I'm about to talk about 531. So, like, this is huge. If you're just posting Facebook statuses, your business is not going to flourish unless you're just really daggone lucky. You've got to just put yourself out there. The first few weeks that I said, okay, I'm going to do this, I was sending 20 messages on Sunday nights because I just wanted to get it over with and I didn't want to think about it the rest of the week. So when we talk about 531, in general, every day you need to be sending messages to 5 people, cold messages to 5 people. You need to be following up with 3 people you maybe have spoken to about Plexus, or maybe follow up with 3 of your warm market people. And then the one is touch base with the customer or your ambassadors. So to me, doing that every single day, sometimes I'm just not in the mood to message people. Some days you feel like a go-getter, some days you don't. So on days that I feel like really digging down with the Plexus side of my life right now, I just send out a ton of messages and just get it over with. Like on the June birthdays, that's a way of cold messaging. I just do them all. And sometimes I feel like, okay, I've done my cold messaging for the month because that's a lot of people.
Do you guys know how to search your friends' birthdays and so they all pull up? Do you know how to do that on Facebook?
I can do it on my computer. I don't know how to do it on my cell phone. But
it's the same thing. You just go, if you go to Facebook and you go to the top search bar and you literally type in friends' birthdays,
right,
it will give you a list and you can just go through and message.
And sometimes you have to click see more on my computer because it only gives you like the first couple of days in the month's birthday. That should be a lot to figure out. Okay, so going back to cold messaging. So that was kind of cold messaging with people that's on your friends list. There's a whole nother market of cold messaging to complete strangers. And this is really easier to me because if I'm messaging a stranger, I don't care what they think about me, right? So in order to do this, though, you have to expand your market. So you need to be in Facebook groups that correlate with your hobbies or what you teach. So like I am in a couple of breastfeeding Facebook groups. I'm in some other Facebook groups. I'm like in Crunchy Christian Mama. I mean, whatever. And I'm only in some of these groups because of Plexus. Okay, I'm in like a calculus teacher Facebook group. Lauren, she could be in like a craft Facebook group. Melissa, you like to knit. I bet you there are some knitting Facebook groups. You need to get in them. Okay. Amy is in a diabetes or diabetic Facebook group. Okay. So there are Facebook groups for everything. And those are people that are going to get on there and they're going to say, well, this doesn't have anything to do with knitting, but I have eczema really bad. I swear it'll do it. And that is like an opening for you to cold message this person and say, hey, I noticed in our knitting group, you said yada yada. Instead of trying to sell them Plexus, you could say, would you like to be added to another Facebook group? Because they already like to be in Facebook groups. So offer them another Facebook group, Wellness Warriors. And if they say yes, then you can add them, tag them, and then message them back.
A lot of knitters probably have arthritis or
inflammation.
Yeah. This is awesome. The fact that we can add anybody to Wellness Warriors now is huge.
And let me add real quick. One of the girls that spoke at convention, she spoke for Sapphires. Her number one runner, like her girl on her team that's kind of helped her get to that spot, she met in a Facebook group. Didn't know her. Like, that's how she came across her. And the girl's child had eczema. And so she just reached out to her and was like, hey, this is helping my kid. Thought I'd share it with you. And this girl, I mean, they live, the Sapphire lives in Texas. The other girl lives in like Oklahoma. And she has like blown up her team. So when you feel like your network has run out, groups is the place to go.
And I have like 3 Facebook friends right now that I know through my Facebook groups that I've talked to. And none of them, they don't want, once they added me on Facebook and I added up the Wellness Warriors, they ghosted me. They say they don't want anything about it. But they haven't deleted me yet because I see their Facebook statuses. So I haven't given up on them. So anyways, it's already been 15 minutes. So I'm going to stop there and see if there's any questions. But I mean, that's it. You've got a cold message and follow up with everybody. I mean, it's kind of hard to, it just depends on the person if you should follow up the next day or give them a week. That's hard knowing how often to follow up, but I guess it's whatever you're comfortable with.
And I will say with following up, that's why your lists are so important, because you can write next to your list, like if you've talked to them, or kind of, I keep notes with mine. But if there's ever a special or a new product or something like there is right now, you always follow up with them. Like it's an easy way that doesn't sound like too aggressive, like, hey, just want to let you know there's free shipping going on this month, or there's free membership, or there's new products. I know it didn't work for you last time. Maybe, the time is right for you now. But that's an easy way to follow up with people.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. What questions do y'all have about messaging or 531?
Lauren has an amazing planner. Me and Kara have seen it.
Where did you get your planner, Lauren?
Let's see.
Let me see it. Do you have it with you?
Yeah.
People would love it, but Melissa is
Also, Lauren is not red tonight.
I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to be, so I'm on my phone. But I bought it on Etsy, and I put it in a binder because I printed it off at work. And it's got your calendar at the front of the month, and then your days are labeled like this. Let me see. Hold on. I'm crazy. Flip my camera on. Can I do that? Yeah.
There you go.
So your days are like, I made it customizable blank where I can put in my own stuff, but it's got where you contact 5 new people, follow up with 3 prospects, 1 active ambassador, 1 inactive, 1 customer, and then your social media posts. It's got them listed for you. And you've got to do, it says Plexus Life and Motivational. So 1 of each, and then Instagram. Add 3 friends on Facebook, wish everybody a happy birthday, post on team page, check back office, personal development. You do a training video each day, and make sure you take your supplements and drink your water.
That's another thing. If you're sending, and Amy taught me this, if you're sending people messages to the person offering them like a special for their birthday, if you wish them happy birthday again through Messenger or even on their Facebook wall, it reminds them, oh, hey, she messaged me about Plexus. They may have forgotten. I mean, people read messages all the time, and Plexus isn't their life. So it's not that important sometimes for them to get back to it.
Well, and too, when you send, and this is why I feel like it's so important to send that message at the beginning of the month, just saying like, hey, it's your birthday month, happy birthday. Because then you can introduce Plexus then, and then on their actual birthday, you can just say, hey, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day today. And it doesn't have to be about Plexus. And so I feel like that, because we want to build relationships. We don't want to just be a salesperson. We want to be relationship builders.
And if you message somebody on Facebook, the Facebook algorithm, you're probably going to be in their news feed more now just because you messaged them.
Yeah. It's all, there's lots of things that go into it.
So bad. It sounds like we're being so fake, but it is.
Yeah, it is. And you're offering them something that like is going to change their life. That sounds very dramatic, but just look at Naomi's story and you can see that. But okay, any questions on cold messaging or following up or anything? Oh, you're sweet, Lauren. And what Lauren showed you, that is a 531. So there are IPA sheets. So IPA is income producing activity. An IPA sheet, our team has some, but it's exactly that. It's 5 people, new people, 3 to follow up with, 1 ambassador or like 1 training. But that's part of your daily activity. And that's what gets you from being an ambassador to a silver ambassador to a gold all the way up to diamond. That's the difference in people who make it and people who don't. Those people that are consistent. And just like Laura Lee said, there are days like this weekend I have not cold messaged anyone because it's been so crazy. But I know that tomorrow, I'm going to have to set aside more time to make up for the weekend. So that's what I love about this. If you don't have time to do 5 every single day, that's totally fine. But make sure that you're making up for it in another spot, another day. I know Laura Lee and Kara during the school year, they message on Sunday night because they knew that during the week it's just difficult to do. So just figure out, and this is what the business is about, figuring out what works for you. What works for me as a full-time stay-at-home mom may not work for everybody. It probably isn't going to work for everybody, especially someone who's working outside of the home. So finding the balance of what works for you and your family. And then the second thing, the way that I think you can be most successful with the 531, with doing this work every single day, is planning. I am a planner by nature. I know that not everybody is, but I have to function this way. But figuring out, do you need a calendar like that awesome one Lauren has? Do you need, I have a big desk calendar that I have. Do you need lists? Like, what can you use that can help you to stay organized? Because if you don't stay organized, then people are going to fall through the cracks. Like when I first started, all I had was a list, and there are so many people that I never followed up with because I didn't have it written down. So, I've shown y'all this before, but I have my calendar from this year. I have a calendar from last year. It's in my bedroom, but it has all of my people that I reached out to every single day. And I still do this now. And so the great thing is I can flip back through my calendar to see who I have reached out to before and who I need to follow up with. But on Sunday nights, I will go through and I will write down on my calendar my 5 people for every day of the week. That way, when it comes time to sit down and message, like I know who I'm messaging that day, and I don't have to scroll through Facebook. Because if I start scrolling, then I'm going to get sucked in the Facebook world and spend an hour flipping through pictures before I actually take time to message.
Are we doing a Zoom on customer care?
Do it?
Are we doing a Zoom on
Yes.
customer care?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We are, yes.
Okay. I will say too, and I don't know if y'all factor this in to your 531, but I do. If I have like a face-to-face conversation with somebody, that is one of my contacts that I have spoken with that day. And so I write them down in my calendar. And the more comfortable, I will say, the more comfortable you become about talking it out with people, the easier it's going to be. It is kind of awkward sometimes because, especially if they're your friends, like I had this very awkward moment for myself on Saturday. One of my dearest friends wanted to try Slim. And so I was like, okay, I'll just drop it off with a note. And I did that. And she was like, were you just here? And I was like, oh, yes. And so I swung back by and I sat down with her and we had a conversation and it was great. And I think it's going to be awesome for her. But, you kind of have to break out.
Fake it till you make it, like you set the tone for the conversation.
And it's like, too, if you've never been in sales before, it can seem kind of like, I love you. I think you should really try this. I don't really know.
Don't ask me how much it is.
Yeah, no pressure. But the more you do that and the more people see you're really actually genuine about what you're talking about, the easier it becomes for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And same thing with cold messaging. The more you do it, I can bust out 10 cold messages now in, 10 minutes. But I've been doing it for, 15 months now. The more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it. And the more you can figure out what you need to say to each person. If you need examples of cold messages, I know Laura Lee sent us some. If you go on, I know Plexi Besties, there's a really good thread on there for cold messages. You can just search cold messages and a bunch of them pop up. So if you need examples or you need some to kind of get you started if you're stuck, just search that. And that can help. And then also we have, Laura Lee talked about it earlier in the message thread. On the 25th, we have our summer slim down. Is that what it's called too? Starting. Lindsay and Abby and Kelly are leading that. But that's another great way to follow up with people and to reach out to people. Just say, hey, we have 2 new amazing products. Our team is doing a group about it. We would love for you to join us. They'll be doing exercises, recipes, kind of the complete package to help people successfully lose weight and get started on these products. So again, look for ways to reach out. What, Laura Lee?
I'm really excited about it.
I am too. I'm going to unrecord this for just a minute because I don't want to say this right